All right, yeah, welcome, guys, bro. We're gonna be talking about basically West African history today. I'm here with Gullah, you know, one of the mentors in the class, and he's pretty much like a very educated person on West African history and just African history in general. He's kind of been in the Discord server. Met him back in when did we meet, bro? Like, how did you
Probably
find me?
say about a year ago. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah,
yeah, I say about at least a year ago.
yeah, man, yeah. So like, he's always been really educated. He showed me the books about like Christopher Ehret, but I mean, enough talking from me. I'm gonna let you. I want you to like introduce yourself, kind of like tell them what you do and areas of expertise. You know what I mean? How'd you come into like learning about West African history, etc.
Well, I always had a curiosity you know, specifically West African history because it's it's the exact link for African American people, or Africans of the diaspora or went through the transatlantic slave trade. Um, and our direct link is linked to this particular culture. You know, how some people be all in Egypt and what I'm saying, say their ancestors, so they'd be all over the place when they say their ancestors come from Africa, but African Americans particularly, what I'm saying, ancestors come directly from Niger Congo speaking cultures. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And even with saying that, that's a diversity. It's so many different types of Niger Congo cultures, even within that scope. Even though it represents one big family of similar cultures, uh, uh, it's like one of the biggest language families on the continent. So it's a lot of diversity even within that cultural spectrum.
mm. Yeah, no, yeah, because I
And
remember
uh
too. You
and,
said
and also
oh yeah, what were you saying?
I'll say and also I went to school for anthropology too. I didn't finish school, but when I was in school I majored in anthropology. I just kept up as an enthusiast and a novice, what I'm saying, on the subject matter.
Mm.
And I also got a podcast too, the Al He's podcast, where I talk about, different histories and anthropology. I might even get into biology on it sometimes. So
Mm. Okay, okay, yeah, I see you, bro.
yeah.
You mind telling us what it was kind of like, being like a student studying anthropology? Like, what exactly were you learning? Did you like it? What university you went to? Like, how was that?
I went to St. Louis University. I
Mm.
started off at a community college, but I when I dropped out, I was in, St. Louis University. But it was what driven me to it, because at first my first major was art.
Mm.
And I was indecisive between art and science and biology. And I just like the like, even with when I draw things, when I used to draw things, I used to like draw the taxonomy and the different animals, and what I'm saying, like putting
Mm.
together the phylogenetic tree.
Mm.
And I want to get into anthropology because it was particularly, the origins of humans, what I'm saying, the
Mm.
human animal, I'm saying, what
Okay.
we are.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that's interesting, bro. Cause hold on. Yeah, I feel like, especially in this space, like, are there even a lot of people who actually like went to school and studied this type of stuff? Because I feel like the way it sounds like you had like just a genuine interest for like learning about like people, humans, culture, etc. You know, instead of like, I feel like a bunch of people. The reason why you have a lot of people who are Egypt focused is because they're like coming at it from a place of like, I don't know, like ego, but they don't actually like appreciate the like, the stories and the histories and the people and like whatever.
Yeah, it was a multicultural civilization. The foundation of it was multicultural. Even on the, like, what, like, a lot of time people hear multicultural, they think it's just, oh, Africa, Asia. No, it was even on the African side, what I'm saying, you have multicultures even there, what I'm saying, and it fastened together to one big culture, what I'm saying, no matter if
Mm,
they was coming from Asia or, what I'm saying, from the multicultures of Africa.
mm. Yeah, no, but yeah, going back to what you were saying about Egypt, yeah, I feel like yeah, there is a lot of like misconceptions about like when people think Africa, Asia, people have like a very loaded like kind of idea of what they think about, when they think of an African. Like I remember you said in your Niger Congo video, when you're talking about the technology and culture and whatever, that like Niger Congo is being like the biggest like group, like you know what I mean, of people in Africa. Whenever you think of an African person, you usually think of a Niger Congo person. And the same thing when it comes to
Yeah.
like you think of African music, you think of Niger Congo music, you know what I mean, and most of that. So like I guess in context of like West Africa especially, or just African in general, like what would you say are like the biggest misconceptions about West Africa history specifically, but then also just African history, people in general, and groupings.
I think it's the misconception of West Africa is uh what I'm saying, the complexity of its societies really. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Looking at it, like, a lot of times they go off the stereotype is just people just live in mud huts and things like that, and not even looking at the actual detail and the artwork and craftsmanship these cultures perform, even with woodworking, metallurgy. You know what I'm saying? Even with the metallurgy, it wasn't always just used for weapons. It was used for tools and like artwork as well. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like they made iron and bronzes look like damn near identical as a human being.
Mm.
Even more,
Yeah.
even sometimes even more. Even if you look at the Oba heads from the Yoruba culture in the Edo culture, some of those bronze statues look even more detailed than the Egyptian statue.
Yeah, yeah, no, I think the only one I really know about is like Nook culture. But when I first seen it, bro, like those faces, bro, like those sculptures, they just look like how old is it even supposed to be? This is like really old. This is like BC years, right? Is it close to like Bronze Age or is it like a little bit after?
Now the bronze, not like when you look at the bronze culture, those are a little bit more new. Those are like the ones you see in Nigeria, things like that. Like if you look at the Nook culture, there's like more stone and wood type, you know what I'm saying, type
Mm,
figures. When you get
okay.
into like the Yoruba, like the Edo, you know what I'm saying, like each king or the Oba, what they call it in Yoruba, they call it the king of Oba or the chief of Oba, you know what I'm saying? Each one had their own bronze or iron bronze bust.
Mm, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, but yeah, no, I completely like understand too, because I seen people have like making memes online where like it was like Europeans and they would be comparing European castles and African castles, and then they'll be like, oh, all the African castles are mud huts and like they're all mud, and like all the European castles are in stone and like whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like kind of like they're downplaying this sort of like advancement that you know what I mean these people had because like
Yeah.
even think like one thing I also wanted to like kind of touch on in this video was the Techit culture and like how did that develop. I mean like around like 2000 BC you have like West Africans
No,
building stuff in stone and
yeah.
people think that
Say actually
we live
like
in mud
the
huts.
4,000 for real.
It was 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000 BC.
That yeah, no, that's you see that's even, I thought it was 2000. But yeah, like how exactly did that develop? Because I think I did a video on it back in like December, and I was talking about like the
Yeah.
Neolithic origins. There was like theorized to have been like Mande people, the introduction of like pastoralism in West Africa, developing um, agriculturalist lifestyles, whatever. Like how exactly did that development to like more complex societies or even state societies, where you'd see the West African kingdoms later on? How did exactly what was the like development of that?
Well, the earliest of that area, or like the Techet area, was actually, it's like more than one. It's like you have when you talk about Techet culture, you got the what they call the cliff, the sea, the sandstone cliffs
Mm,
of southwest Mauritania. You know what I'm saying? Right there on the like on the borderline of Mali.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So still the same region, like southern Mauritania. the earliest people of that area, even before, you even get the stone buildings and things like that, you'll have a gathering, a meeting of these pastoral Sahara people, which is like these proto Niger Congo speakers. Um and and them too, and them as well, by them being, coming from the Green Sahara, they would have mixed and intermingled with, Nilotic people, or not Nilotic, but Nilo-Saharan people, that was in the Sahara as well. So they would have had sorghum, millet, pearl millet, and things of that nature. Even though pearl millet.
Yo, I think your audio went out. Oh, you muted. Yeah, you there?
It was calling. Yeah, somebody. I'm gonna put my phone on disturb. Somebody was calling me.
Oh
My
yeah, no,
bad.
that's cool, man.
But yeah, and the earliest culture, even going back to around 5,000, or even like in those areas going back to like 9,500 BCE or 10,000 BCE, you had the meeting of like these West African hunter gatherers who was already there in the region, mixing with these incoming Saheli and Sahara Proto Niger Congo speakers,
Mm.
uh, uh, with their pyro pottery technology. You know what I'm saying? The
Okay.
pottery uh in Niger Congo culture started even with the women. You know what I'm saying? The women started the development of the pottery. Even the reason that it's pottery is because this is before they were like full blown agriculturalists. It's a time period throughout the world where Christopher Eric called pre agriculture beginnings. You know how like some people, like they try to make it matter like which culture started agriculture first. It really didn't matter which one started first. It's like these hunter gatherer cultures all would eventually, at some point in time, just because of the way of the climate change, they all would all already had some type of development of
Yo.
versions of agricultural systems. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's just that the ones in Levant, certain pressures forced them into that, full consistency. And it happened in West Africa too at a different time. You know what I'm saying? Starting
Mm.
around 9,500 BCE, when they were at this pre-agricultural period where they were just collecting wild grains, and also they were boiling the wild grains whole, like making like for food sources like rices and things of that nature.
Mm.
And then somewhere around like 6,500 BCE, in those southern, like those the southern regions of the Sahel, the little bit more tropical regions of the Niger Congo cultural family, you'll have the development. These people also will have the development of like yam and what they call plant agriculture, where they're like you could plant the tumor and it'll grow, and grow on its own.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, no, cause that
Can you
makes
hear me?
sense. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, but yeah, that makes sense. Cause
Hello?
can you hear me?
Are you there? You hear me?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, it was glitching. It was glitching. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
okay.
glitching.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
But
have to
yeah,
I'm
but in
gonna
the
have
but
to fix my Wi-Fi. But you were saying what?
yeah, but in that frame, because the oldest pottery in Africa is found in West Africa.
Mm.
In
I, I
Ojogo,
I think
area.
even the oldest boat is from West Africa as well, isn't it? They found it
Yeah,
in
yeah,
like Nigeria.
the dugout canoe,
Mm-hmm.
they found in the Niger River. Um, but like even like those Tetchit cliffs
Mm-hmm.
was like a part of that outspanning, Niger Congo culture. And eventually that area of development, what I'm saying, for its building and things of that nature, would have developed from the proto Mindi culture. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like these northern Niger Congo speakers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Particularly the Sanin. You probably had several Mindy type people there, you know what I'm saying, that descended from some of the, some of these Tetra builders. but the ones that was pronounced and became more prominent and more dominant was the Soninke,
Mm. Okay,
and
okay.
they became dominant in trade and wealthy because they had what they call the silent trade. Uh, Sometime during around 1000 BCE to 9000 BCE, these people, uh, I say around 9000 to 8000 BCE, these people were trading. They were starting to trade with like Carthaginians, and the Carthaginians were getting gold from these people. They became
Mm.
middlemen
Okay,
and
yeah.
king.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Before
know,
before it's like,
huh?
my bad, bro. Go ahead.
I know. I was just gonna say I did hear that a lot of the West African kingdoms, their one of their priorities, or like the things that they valued the most, was like wealth creation, things like trade. And so I think
Yeah,
that's why like a lot of like that's why richest man in the world comes from there. And you would see these like super super rich, super super wealthy, you know what I mean, um kingdoms. But
yeah.
yeah.
That's why Legos is what it is today.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the markets. You find like anywhere you find Niger Congo people, we find the markets and stuff. Even when doing the Bantu expansions, you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? The Bantus would when they moved into the lake regions,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? They introduced markets and commerce, you know what I'm saying, to East Africa.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that. But yeah, like it's kind of it makes sense. It makes sense
Yeah.
to see that type of stuff kind of develop.
I was talking about the just the markets and hold on.
Okay. They
It
were
was
trading with the Carthaginians, apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah. They call it the if you look up the silent trade, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? They were trading. That's what the Soninke were the source of Carthaginian gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Weren't
And a
the
lot of
Carthaginians? Weren't they like really wealthy? Because I remember I watched. I actually no, because I only watched a video. It was on Hannibal.
yeah,
You know that History Channel oversimplified.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah. I watched that video, and I learned about how they got rich off of having Spain as like a kind of like a colony where they built a second Carthage. Um, but yeah, but besides that, like, I gotta tell me more about this, like the silent trade, the trade between West Africa and Carthage. Like,
Oh yeah,
are
like a
there
lot
any descriptions of the people they were trading with or anything like that?
of the people that who you mean the Carthaginians or the
Like, did they ever write any descriptions of like the Tichit people that they were trading? Well, they were Tichit people, right?
yeah during this time these people would have been like Mendy, like these would have been Soninke people for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What they call the Wangara Soninke. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? The Wangara Soninke traders who participated in the silent trade, these would have been the merchant war. They call them merchant warriors because these people they were good fighters and they
Mm.
also were merchant salesmen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
These men would have developed into the Ghana. You know what I'm saying? You know
Mm.
or the kingdom of Ouagadougou because the Ghana is actually the name of the king. It
Mm.
means warrior king.
Okay.
And these warrior merchants, these Wagara Soninke culture, you know what I'm saying, would have grew in wealth and status. You know what I'm saying? Starting with if you ever heard of the legendary king or the Soninke king named Dinga Sisi. He was one of the first kings, said the first Ghana of Ouagadougou.
Oh, so he
And
was like the founder.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And he would have reunited and conquered over even other, you know what I'm saying, Mende cultures, influencing other Mende cultures. Even
Mm.
a lot of even like the rice, even the rice agriculture in the grains and all that stuff, all of that comes out of that Techet area. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying, leaking into other parts of West Africa. Even like a lot of times, even through the Bantu expansion.
Mm.
Some of the crops that the Bantus or like even the more tropical Niger Congo people as they migrated into more tropical regions, some of them just kept like the yam agriculture, which is
Mm.
like a plant, which is called planting agriculture, where you just plant the root and it'll steady growing as long as you have like a shoot to grow. You know, so
Mm.
you don't necessarily need the seed or nothing. Um, a lot of them would have brought particular Saharian or Sahelian or what they call Sudanic crops with them to, you know what I'm saying, more tropical areas. Some of them they would have to let go. They couldn't bring, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't hold on to like pearl millet and things like that. Certain things they would have had to trade like rices and stuff like that, but the indigenous stuff they still would have agriculture and planted from like the Sudanic region would have been like stuff like cow peas, you know, black eyed peas and I think the cola nut and things of that nature.
Would sorghum be one of them, or did they already have that?
Well, no, Circon probably would have dropped off too in certain areas.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But they would have picked it back up, but Bantus would have picked it back up around the lake regions. You know what I'm saying? Them, you know, in the mix with Central Sudanians.
Mm. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Let's see.
And and Ubangian people too. Ubangian people would have still had they lived in more the northern like the northern savannas of right above the Congo, like the Ubangian culture or the Adamawa culture. They
Mm.
would have also had Sericom too and those and the Adamawa people, the Gur Adamawa and the Ubangian, these would have been the people who were the masters of ironwork.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The
Mm.
iron technology developed in their particular societies,
So it was it the
and it would have spread
Ubangans?
amongst Niger.
So was it the Ubangans who Oh, you know, Ubangans are Niger Congo, right? No, let me, because I think there was like
Yeah,
kind of I think Sule he told me there was like a debate where they're like I guess some people are trying to make it like an isolate, but like for now it's part of
yeah,
like Niger Congo. But
yeah. What they trying to make it a isolate in Niger Congo. It's like they don't know whether it's part of the Adamawa language family
mm,
or it's just its own branch in the Niger Congo family. You know what I'm saying? It's his
okay.
own personal branch. But Christopher Everett, even though he said all these languages, even though word partition they are, he called them not Christopher Everett, but Roger Blanche.
Mm.
Roger Blanche, he calls these languages the Savannah languages.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember you told me. Yeah, so it was these Ubangan speakers. If we're just gonna be considered like call them part of Niger Congo, right? Or Savannah speakers, right? You said these were the people who created who developed like iron technology in sub-Saharan Africa, or was it like a did they get it from another people?
No, they these would have been the people that created iron. Uh, and particularly the Central African Republic area. Because
Mm,
the Ubangians are one part of a big group. Even the Gerd people all the way in more Western Africa, they all part of the same language, you know what I'm saying, commune, you know what I'm saying, or family.
mm,
Even like when they say they found what they say they found in Igbo land, where they say they found some of the oldest iron smelters in Igbo land. Those weren't the Igbo people yet. Because you talking about 2000 BCE.
mm,
Those were the Adamawa people like even today, you still got Adamawa people that live in certain areas of Igbo land.
mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
It's always there. The Igbos actually migrated to those regions from the Nook culture.
okay, okay. I see. Yeah. So what were some of the first like tools that they were developing, and how did they develop iron, and what tools were they using?
The earliest tools with the iron came out of the pyrotechnology. It was like kind of an accident. Like they came up on iron because they kept burning and having these furnaces for pottery.
Um,
So if you keep for
uh,
pottery
I
and going
think I
down,
think you talked about this. I think did he say that the woman had like some like part to play, something to do with like them and pottery, and then
yeah, the pottery, yeah.
okay,
And then yeah, when they so they when they burning these furnaces using the same soil over and over and over, you know what I'm saying, going into the ground, you know what I'm saying, they stumble up on iron. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Iron pieces. Men in the society, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, picked out the iron and developed and used it in tool working. At first it didn't even start off as weapons. It started off as probably like, you know what I'm saying, used for agricultural purposes,
Mm.
axes, you know what I'm saying? Because even before the iron, they had, you know what I'm saying, Niger Congo people used polished stone axes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Which is
Mm.
which even polished stone axes is even a more complex. Is very It's a very complex tool compared to other Stone Age tools. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Compared to
Yeah.
like tools like the Batois people would have had. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It would have been
Yeah.
very of its time. It would have been very technological. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But the iron itself, and that would have been a
Yeah.
whole nother level too.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the earliest thing they probably would have used is like, they used it for was like, tools, for it's like for agriculture. They probably used it for like decorations, ornaments and statues, and you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, like stuff like jewelry. They would have used it for jewelry too.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So when did like iron tools start to spread? And like, was it spreading specifically with like jewelry, or was it more popular as like agricultural tools, or was it weapons? Like, when did we start seeing more people adopt it?
It depends because you got different ways that they spread, you know, saying, through the markets, through commerce and things. And
Mm.
different people, I guess, they had different ideas of, saying, what they wanted to do with the iron as the skill was taught, taught amongst different areas. Because, Niger Congo people have a society where they have particular crafts that are passed down, through certain castes or whatever. Like uh
Yeah.
like the iron like the iron and the blacksmith, like even a lot of societies in Niger Congo people, the Niger Congo culture, the blacksmiths are looked at as sorcerers.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they know how to manipulate elements and what I'm saying, shape it into these different forms and things.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
have these secrets that, what I'm saying, the other people don't have, or these craft. And I think this is taught, you know what I'm saying? This was taught, what I'm saying, spread throughout Niger Congo culture to West Africa and Central Africa later. But even like when the Bantus migrated through Central Africa 3,500 years ago, 3,500 BC, they wouldn't have had iron, and not until they got to the lake regions.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They would have adopted it from the Central Sudanians, and the Central Sudanians would have got it from the Ubangian people.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember too, specifically on that part with the different like, I guess I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say caste system, but I would say like this group, this tribe, or whatever, they do like this role and this people have that role. I did hear that
Yeah,
like in Bari, Sule's Bar, and he said that they have like a similar thing where they have like I guess like clans that are like, I think it's Central Sudanic in origin, and they're the people who
yeah,
make the iron for everyone else, and then they like get it. They're like the iron making class, the blacksmiths of them. And then I think
yeah,
I heard the same thing happened with like Juice mentioned the same thing happened with like Kenyan tribes. Like some of the Nilotes and like Kushitics, they like would get iron from the Bantus, and they wouldn't really want to make the iron because like either they just didn't know how, or it's like some of
it's
them
a
I
hard.
even heard thought that it was even witchcraft.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah, it's like, even if you look at like West African stories, you know what I'm saying, the blacksmith in the story is always the sorcerer.
Mm.
Like if you look at if you ever familiar with the epic of Sanjata Kieta, you know what I'm saying, the first king of Mali.
Mm.
The king that he was warring against, you know what I'm saying, the king of Soso, he was a sorcerer. He was a blacksmith, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
I see. Mm. Was the king of that king? He was like the bad guy in the story or something, or like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was,
Mm.
yeah, he was a protagonist story. Yeah.
I see. I see. So, is there like a negative view of these people then? Just like they're all like people who knew how to like the blacksmiths basically. People who knew. Is there like a negative view almost around them?
It wasn't. It was just something that was that was respected. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Looked at these powerful men that had these particular powers. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Yeah,
okay.
because I guess the power, you know, what I'm saying, represents, you know, what I'm saying, having this particular technology.
Mm,
Even I forgot when I gotta look that up, but Christopher Ayers' new book he came out with in 2023. He talks about in there how even in Niger Congo they got in Niger Congo cultures in certain iron smelting areas they got all the way to the development of steel.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a particular type of steel. I can't pick a particular type of steel it is, but you know, so they develop steel too.
Mm. Okay. I didn't even know. So like with iron, there's like a difference between just like a regular iron tool and then steel. Like steel, like I didn't actually know the difference.
Like it's like particular. I think it's particular like minerals and alloys to add it to it. You know what I'm saying to make it become steel.
Okay. Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, I mean, connecting this to like the West African kingdoms. I mean, what like type of okay, like the kingdom of Ouagadougou or Ghana, right? What type of iron tools? Like when did they start like not developing, like adopting iron, and like what type of iron tools were they using mostly?
I can't hear you. You cutting out. Yo,
Let me see.
you you glitching up, bro. I can't hear you.
I don't know.
Yo, you were just glitching. I couldn't hear you.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, what's the kingdom of Ouagadougou, right, or Ghana, as most people know it by? What type of iron tools and technologies were they using, and like when did they like adopt it?
In those areas, like in those Mende areas, iron in those areas developed I think, believe sometime around 800 BCE.
Mm,
And they were using different things, you know, ornamentation, statues, and also weaponry. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Bows and arrows, lances like spears.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? In particular type of short swords.
Okay. Okay, I see.
These, you know what I'm saying, these people, you know what I'm saying, these people were, you know what I'm saying, these were imperial people. So
Mm,
they were in the trade, they had particular good, they had to protect their commerce, you know what I'm saying, from trade and the trade routes and things of that nature, from bandits and
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it sounds pretty advanced for like yeah, iron statues, weapons, all this stuff, bro. Yeah, these people really
Even
like.
even even the what they call the Sahelian Knights. You know what I'm saying? Where you see you know what I'm saying,
I
the West
think
African Knights.
did you? Because I remember I watched this video like when it came like it's probably been like a month. I think it was the video from Invisica where they were talking about like the West African Knights. It was
Uh,
West African Knights.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, where
Tell me more about them,
they
bro.
were like they were lancers, like on a horse, like on horseback. You ever seen the knights in
Jousting.
medieval time in
Okay.
Europe? Yeah, Justin. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were like the best like in the world with that. Like West Africa was the best in the world with that. Like known for,
Really.
like that, like in accuracy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Uh, like their spears were like looked at as like how the same way as samurai looked at as like their samurai like their katanas.
Uh. Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
wasn't there like because I've been learning a little bit more about samurais because I've been seeing the whole like Yasuk. How do you say his name, bro? Yasuk. Yeah.
Yasuke. Yeah,
Yasuke. Yeah, the Yasuke controversy. But apparently, yeah,
yeah,
I guess samurai was like not just like a title, but like there was like it was like a whole like noble class. And I think
yeah,
in that video with the West African Knights, it was a similar thing, right? Like especially
Yeah,
like in I heard for some of the armies that they had, or like when they were recruiting people, there'd be some people who would come from like noble families that had like a history in
yeah.
like fighting or whatever. Yeah, tell me more about that, man. But like I guess like the different classes and whatever, how it worked as a ranking.
Oh yeah. What force? The samurai?
Not the samurai, but the West African knights.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would have been like a class. You know what I'm saying? We had a war. It's like same way you had the blacksmith. You
Mm,
would have a warrior class too. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And sometimes it shifts.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it shifts from like sometimes it shifts from like the blacksmiths and the ironsmithers being on top, that particular guild being the kings. Sometimes the warriors, you know what I'm saying, the military unit to take over and they become the ruling class and you know what I'm saying,
Uh,
things of that nature.
okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
but like
actually new. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but like in West Africa, they were matrilineal.
Mm,
So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, the rights of passage or the rights of the king wouldn't be passed to your direct son. It'd be passed down to your nephew.
mm.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
No.
Because matrilineal.
Was being matrilineal? Cause I don't know. Juice. I think Juice talks about this because there's like with Nilo Saharans being matrilineal as well. But I think he did mention that like if you go back to the original Niger Congos, they were patrilineal. Is that true? And if it is, like, how did the switch happen?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, you heard what I said? Or
I ain't heard what you just said.
all right, yeah. No, so with the whole matrilineal thing, I remember like Juice was talking about like you know how like Nilos herons are matrilineal also. But I guess he said that like a lot of like Bantus or like Niger Congo people today are patrilineal today. Or that they go
Yeah.
back to a petro like originally like proto Niger Congos were a patrilineal society. Is it true? And if it is, like, how did the switch happen in Niger Congos from like
I
patrilineal
don't
to
I,
matrilineal?
I don't think they ever were a patrilineal society. I think they always, as far as I know, I always know they was a matrilineal society.
Mm, I see. Yeah, because
Even in the beginning.
I think because you mentioned like the I don't know, aren't Kikuyus patrilineal or are they matrilineal also, bro?
Oh yeah, they matrilineal, but they probably have patrilineal influences from Nilotic people and people in South Cushitic people that they came in contact with.
Mm,
But
yeah,
most of all, they're matrilineal. You know what I'm saying? Overall,
I see.
Bantus. You know what I'm saying? Bantus were known for being matrilineal system.
Mm, okay. Yeah, no, yeah, because I didn't. It was kind of like a weird thing because the main thing that I really like thought about because I feel like with a lot of matrilineal societies, bro. Like you see this, I think, as like it's highest in like Nilo-Saharans. Whenever they're like mixing with like other like groups of people, paternal lines always get replaced, you know. But then
Yeah,
if you look at the Kikuyu, they're matrilineal, bro, and they kept it. They're like, but like they're ancestrally like they're just so mixed, right? But then like
yeah,
if you look at their Y DNA, they're all just Bantu Y
yeah,
Yeah, man. I don't
yeah.
know, fucking chat.
And we matrilineal, that means like, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, if you marry a woman, you go live in her family's village.
Mm, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. So like, I think the best way I heard it was described as like, how do I say it? Whenever you're like absorbing in new people, it's usually if you're matrilineal, at least for what you see with Nilo's herons, the like foreign DNA is usually just brought through by the males. But if you're like
Yeah.
patrilineal, then like foreign DNA is brought by like females. You know what I mean? So like, but I guess it's
But
not
some but
as
sometimes
like binary. You know what I mean? As a Um,
but in some cases too, you know what I'm saying, other family, like when you get married, some other family members, you know what I'm saying, come with you, you know what I'm saying,
oh yeah, true,
from
yeah,
the house.
yeah, yeah. I could imagine that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, but I guess okay, going back towards like the West African nights, civilizations, or like whatever, right? Tell me about like horse domestication in West Africa because I guess that's something I kind of need to know about because I remember we talked about it like a few months ago, but I never really got into it.
Well, the horses came in through West Africa through the Soninke.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? That's what they call them, the people of the horse. Or sometimes they call them the Saraso, you know what I'm saying? The horsemen.
mm,
If you like, you even see a lot of the Soninke statues, you'll see men on horses.
mm,
Uh, but those horses came in by way of the Amazigh and the Berbers, and
mm,
you know what I'm saying, and also, you know what I'm saying, would have amplified during the Islamic time period too.
mm,
But their horse, you know what I'm saying, their horsemanship, and you know what I'm saying, their even like during the Mali Empire, uh uh the beginning of the Mali Empire was Sanjata Keita. You know what I'm saying? He got his horses from a Soninke king.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? His horses, some of his men, like to go into battle when he got support. Uh, but the horses came in by way of the Soninke culture for sure.
I see.
But you know, horses. You know what I'm saying? You know, horses is limited. You know what I'm saying? In certain areas, we get too deep into West Africa because of the tsetse fly.
I see. Yeah, no, because I mean, I, I don't think there's any horses that are like native to Africa, are they? Like they're all from Eurasia.
No,
So,
yeah, they are from Eurasia. They are from somewhere else.
like, aren't they like originally like from the steppe horses mostly? Or
Yeah,
okay.
because even the West African horses, the species of them, they call them Afro-Turkish horses. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? They come from a more like a Mauritanian Berber lineage.
mm. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Cause were
Yeah.
these horses were they like very influential? Cause I think I don't know if this is true, but were there like whole army, like almost like steppe nomads? Were there like whole armies of like West Africans, just all of them on like like most of them on horses, or were they just kind of like a part of the
Yeah,
army, like as
what they had,
cavalry, just like regular cavalry?
they were part of, they had cavalry.
Uh huh. Was it just like regular
Well,
cavalry, or
they
was
had
it like
cavalry. You know,
was it just like regular cavalry, or was it like the majority of the army was like on horse?
I can't hear you. You said was it regular cavalry or what?
Yeah, like the kingdoms did they just have like a
I couldn't
regular?
even.
Am I good? Am I good?
I hear you now. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But for the kingdoms, did they just have regular cavalry, or was it just like or did they have like a majority of their men on horses? Because I've seen these
No, no.
videos of like I've seen these videos of like the Sahelians, and like there's like 1,000 people on horses, and they're all like like I don't know what I mean. They all got their like lances and whatever.
No, it wouldn't have been the whole, it would have been a lot of horses, but it would have been the men of status.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, to have horses. And
Mm.
more the wealthier class, the warrior class, but you also would have had infantry as well.
Mm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Feel like men with, you know what I'm saying, spears and uh 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 spears and shields and things like that. Like the infantry would have been really more like, the infantry would have been way more traditional. You know what I'm saying? Niger Congo, warriors.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the horsemen and the infantry. I mean the cavalry would have been more like a new thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Because I think I remember also that like even for the Europeans, that like their horses were like really valuable. Cause I've heard about I watched this video from this channel called History Squad, and he was talking about like this person who thought was the greatest knight ever, and how they would have some of these like not really festivals but like kind of like tournaments where like
Yeah,
young men would like get on horses and they'd be able to beat each other up and like basically like hurt each other like really really seriously, right? But like not really, they're not really supposed to kill each other, right? But it was a really really bad thing to hurt somebody's horse. Like it was just a bad, like, you know what I mean, they just didn't really approve of it because I guess, you know, they seen him as really valuable. So I guess it's like interesting parallel, I guess, you know, horses being valuable wherever they
yeah,
are at, you know what I mean? But yeah, I guess it would make sense though that it would be a part of the it'd be something for like the higher wealthy class.
yeah, yeah. Even like the Oyo, if you're familiar with the Oyo Kingdom in Nigeria, which is the Yoruba, no, the Yoruba people,
Mm.
uh, you know what I'm saying? They would have traded slaves just for horses, like from
Mm.
from the Hausa. You know what I'm saying?
I see. Wait, they would trade it Hausa slaves or the Hausa would trade slaves? Or
No, no, the Oyo would trade slaves for horses. You know what I'm saying? And get the horses from the Hausa.
oh, so the Hausa they had the horse. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah. Yeah, no, okay. But yeah. Speaking of that stuff too, like horses, especially like you said, they were like the amount of them or their popularity, it rised, especially with like influence from the Muslims. Tell me more about that, like the Muslim relationship with you know, West African kingdoms had, like how were they introduced to Islam? What were the trade relations like? And yeah.
Um, I can't. I have to look. I have to look in the because I have a. It's a good book I could recommend called African Dominion. You know what I'm saying? The new history of medieval West Africa by Michael Gomez.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? I can't pick out particular which Muslim caliphites, you know what I'm saying, came in what time period right now, but that book, you know what I'm saying, that book has a lot of that knowledge. But I do know um I got the access, I got the books, you know what I'm saying, all day. I just have to pick through it. I just don't have none of my work with me right now.
that's cool. Bro.
But yeah, the Islamic regime would have came in through trade and merchant, like, you know what I'm saying, as a thing of trade too. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? A lot of them would have been already converted Amazigh people, you know what I'm saying, coming in trading. And a lot of times the society or like the local people wouldn't be it depends on you had two different scenarios.
mm,
You had some instances where the local people would convert to Islam and the king would be traditional. And then you had some, you know what I'm saying, you had a lot of instances where the king would be the one that convert and all the local people are just, more traditional.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm. You know, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
because you had the presence of Islam there. Yeah, you had you had the presence of Islam there through commerce and trade. You know what I'm saying? Starting with the Wagadu Kingdom of Ghana. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Or the Ghana Empire.
yeah, yeah, and I think I don't know. Like Mali is the one that I know about most because like it's the most popular. But you can kind of see like by that time they developed. You have
Yeah,
like the University of Timbuktu, and you can see how influential like that religion was. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think yeah, it's like very impressive, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Then you
Uh.
had more and more and more because at first you would have had like kings that were just doing it just for the trade, and as
Mm,
time goes on, you would have kings that was actually really fundamental religious in Islam. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? Like Sanjata Kenyatta, the founder of the Mali Kingdom, he wouldn't have been Muslim.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? He had Muslim influences or Muslim help, like because a lot of the Seninke, he has help from a Seninke king, and I think that Seninke king was a Muslim, so some of his army and style became Islamized or whatever. But
mm.
him himself was in a not until like his successors and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, was more entwined with, the Islamic faith.
Mm. Yeah, and you know another thing too.
But it went on a Hajj.
Mm. Yeah, because another thing too I do here, and it's not even just the West Africans. I think I've heard like other like even the Sudanese do this as well. But you can kind of see there's even too like in some of these
Yeah,
groups of people, there's still like a traditional influence in the like way that they practice their religion, even though that even though they were
yeah,
like Muslim, you know.
yeah.
So it's really I mean, it's not really. I would say like interesting to see. It is interesting to see, but then it's kind of like expectable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So who are the people mostly influenced by those Muslim kingdoms today? Would it just be like regular Muslim West Africans? Because whenever I think, I just think like Fulanis are Muslim, Senegalese are Muslim. You know what I mean? Um, whatever. But who did that influence mostly today?
Definitely with cause not, cause Fulani, a lot of people think Fulani were the first, they were one of the first Islamic Muslims, you know what I'm saying? Most like, it was cause they were part of the Takar kingdom,
Mm,
where a lot of Islamic traders, you know what I'm saying, came to. But Takar was once a vassal to Wagadu, you know what I'm
mm,
saying, and it broke off. But the Seninke would have also been one of the first Islamic people like Mende, like Islam is really rich through the Mende culture as well. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? In Mali.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And not even just yet, not even just the Malinke, because Mali is Malinke, but you got different Mende tribes too. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
In the Seninke would have been one of the earliest Islamic people. You know what I'm saying? West Africa, alongside the Fula.
mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you got Islam in northern Nigeria, Kano, you know what I'm saying? Most of that's Hausa, Fulani,
Yeah.
and you got some and you got some you actually have some Yoruba people who are, you know what I'm saying, Muslim too.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Just by them trading with, you know what I'm saying, particular groups of North Africa, I mean northern Nigeria.
mm. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. That makes sense, bro. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me see. Any of the other questions I got? You know what I mean? Okay. So I guess medieval West Africa, right? You can almost, at least the way that I can see it, as someone who's like novice, not really like you know what I mean. At that advanced, is it almost like a golden age for like Africa, like in terms of like historically? Like you have all these different kingdoms. You have the influence of like Islam. You know what I mean? Richest man. They're like very very wealthy, and really like
Yeah.
advanced like schools, learnings. You know what I mean? Institutions. But then how did the like how did I remember it was I think it was like from nothing that YouTuber he kind of explained that there was like a by the time the Europeans came there's like a decline, I guess. You know what I mean? It was almost like the equivalent of like what happened in Europe when Rome and Greece fell. Could you kind of
Yeah.
tell me about that decline? Like how did that era end, like with all these kingdoms and empire?
Oh yeah, because it was a lot of during that time when the Europeans came, a lot of the natural resources were gone. Like you still
Mm,
had some natural resources, but I'm talking about like for a lot of the gold mines and all that, in the time of Mansa Musa, and
mm,
a lot of even griots today, they blame Mansa Musa for giving away all the gold. You know what I'm saying? So he
mm.
went through Cairo, Taj, but
Ah,
and things like just trying to uplift, like making it a legend. Even in that book I told you about, the African Dominion book, it's a part in there where Michael Gomez go in on how like the last of the Mali kings, they still try to like, what I'm saying, uphold this prestigious legendary, what I'm saying, status that they had like this gold, even though
mm,
when they was going through economic downfalls or whatever.
mm. I see. So most of the downfall was like just economic, mainly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
But when the first Europeans that came in, like the Portuguese, you know what I'm saying, they were just trying to snatch up people, you know what I'm saying? But they were getting their ass kicked by the Wolof.
Yeah, no, I heard I think one of their boats got shot down, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's based. That's
And Wolof,
based, bro.
I believe Wolof at that time period was ruled. I think Senegal at that time period was actually ruled by a bigger Mende or Malinke kingdom called Kabu.
Kabul.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times in Senegal, some of those areas would be vassals, you know what I'm saying, to like Mali Empire and later Mende Empire, smaller empires.
Mm. I see. Yeah. Didn't they also? I don't know if it's the same thing, but was it the kingdom or was it the empire of Jollof?
Oh, Jollof was the empire. Yeah,
It was the
it was the
empire.
empire and the kingdom.
Okay, yeah. It was. Was it? It was
Yeah,
based in Senegal, right?
it was like yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it was based in Senegal. Yeah, and it had like different vassals like Kayar, Baal, Salam, Sign. You know what I'm saying, and the Wolo area.
Mm. All right. I think I only got like a few more. Let me see.
I can hear you.
Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, so with the like coming of the arrival of the Europeans, I feel like there's like a lot of controversy around. You know what I mean? When they came, and like how the interaction with Africans went as far as like slavery. Could you give us like a brief, I guess, like summary of like when they were first coming into not even just West Africa but Central Africa? What were they there for? What were they looking for? And like how did things work out? You know what I mean?
You talking about Europeans?
Yeah, yeah. Like when the Europeans were first coming to like Western and Central Africa, like what were they coming there for? And like what was it like? Like how were they treated? How were they like accepted or like you know what I mean?
I mean, when the Europeans first came, you know what I'm saying, they came as traders, you know what I'm saying, people that was trade, commerce, because, West Africa, we always had the markets,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying, and slavery or human bondage in West Africa was a lot of times, even though we had, saying domestic servitude and things of that nature, of course,
mm,
but a lot of like the chattel, even the chattel slavery or some of the just the slave markets, you know what I'm saying, was a byproduct of war. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? And the Europeans came, you know what I'm saying, the slaves was already going on. When
mm,
Europeans came, they were looking for labor, you know what I'm saying, because they were, colonizing other lands in a new world and things of that nature. And you know what I'm saying, they couldn't they was having a hard time like trying to force and enslave Native Americans, so
mm,
they came to Africa where people couldn't run back, you know what I'm saying, run back to what they know, you know what I'm saying, a whole ocean away.
mm. I see. Yeah, cause you know, one interesting thing I did here, cause now we're gonna be like getting into like okay, like Europeans, slavery, colonialism, right? And I heard that when there was a video, this guy said that when the Europeans first came to Africa, they treated a lot of the Africans as like equals. Like they didn't have this like bullshit like white supremacy superiority complex. You know what I mean? They came and like treated like the people like you're a kingdom, I'm a kingdom. You know what I mean? Let's like you know what I mean? You know, like work together. So
Yeah,
yeah, but the main thing that I heard was the like thing that pushed them forward to be able to like take advantage or whatever, right? To be able to conquer like they did. I heard it was like the industrial revolution, and I think that happens like a lot like way later after they like first enter like since you know what I mean. It happens a lot after when they first enter Africa, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean as far as like I guess as far as like slavery goes, like were they getting most of their slaves by like just like attacking villages or whatever, like raiding people, or was it like
No,
through
you
kings?
can't even get it. No, Europeans couldn't even get into Africa like that. They would have died from malaria. They
Okay.
couldn't even get into Africa. Like, it had to be the indigenous people. It was already a system going on there with warfare and tribal war and you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
things of that nature. It wasn't kumbaya and you know what I'm saying. It was like you had competition and all type of stuff going on.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, they couldn't even like it was a long time before Europeans even, you know what I'm saying, was even to get into the interior Africa. They were scared. That's why you
Yeah.
hear about all these stories and stuff of cannibals and all this stuff and you know what I'm saying, these myths and stuff because they couldn't even
Yeah.
get up in there like
Yeah. I seen there was a video I seen like a really long time ago. They even called like Congo because their maps of Africa used to be like so like messed up because they didn't like explore the whole thing. They used to call like
yeah,
Congo like the white man's graveyard or something because every single time when a white man would go there to like explore, they wouldn't come back. They would die there or something. You know what I mean? Because like
yeah,
all you know what I mean? Whatever jungle diseases, whatever that I guess they just couldn't deal with. You know?
yeah, when they had immunity to it.
Mm.
And I don't know if you heard of it's a dude from Zanzibar. I think he was Swahili, a Swahili guy from Zanzibar named Tibu Tib. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He was in East Africa. You know what I'm saying? Enslaving a lot of Bantu people.
Mm.
But he was an Afro Arab dude. If you look at him, he looks like a straight up Bantu. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah,
I see. I see.
the big one of the biggest slave traders, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
In
was he the guy who went to like Congo and like did all the like slave trading in there, or like, because I've heard like multiple stories of like Africans who were like Afro Arabs and they had like entire slave, like there's this one guy from Sudan. Now he's Jali, so he's like Arabized Nubian, and he had like
yeah,
a whole slave kingdom, and he was like enslaving people from like parts of South Sudan and Kordofan and like I don't know. I think even Chad. I'm pretty sure too. You know, and I think I've heard like of a
yeah,
similar thing of some guy in Tanzania with the Swahili doing the same thing.
yeah. His name. If you look up Tibu Tib.
Mm. Tibu Tib. Let me see, bro. If I can. How do you spell his name, bro? Let me Google it, bro.
It's Tippu Tip. Tip.
Wait, hold on. Tip. Oh, Tipu Tip. No,
And
yeah,
they
no.
say they
This
call
guy
him that
does
because
look. You see his face, bro. He does
yeah,
look really
yeah,
Central African, right?
yeah,
Man, yeah.
yeah. Look, let's read his profile. He's one of the biggest slave traders in ever. You know?
Yeah, man. No, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I don't mean to sound like Islamophobic, bro, or like like anything like that. But like, I feel like with the Muslims, bro, like slave trade is like it's a big thing. You know, I mean, like with everyone it is, but I feel like especially with the Muslims, it's like they do that shit. You know, like a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They the
Man.
reason. Because of the Arab slave trade, that's the reason why even Yasuke, the African samurai, was even in Japan. You know what I'm saying? Because he
Mm.
got sent to India, and then he was hired as he fought in India, gained his freedom in India, and then he was hired as a bodyguard for a Portuguese Jesuit. You know what I'm saying? Bringing in Christianity into Japan.
Mm.
And then they got a liking to him in Japan, and he became the bodyguard of Nobunaga. And Yasuke himself was Dinka. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah, man.
According to Thomas Leaky,
That's it.
according to Thomas Leaky has one of the most scholarly approaches to the history of Yasuke.
Mm. Yeah, no, because I've seen, especially with his like controversy coming out, and I've seen the little like I've seen like I like Assassin's Creed, so when I seen it, and like I remember there was like the possibility of him being South Sudanese, I was like so happy because I was like, yes, we're finally
Yeah,
gonna have like a black assassin, but I don't even think he's the assassin in the game, but yeah, no, I've seen that there was like a bunch of I didn't know there was like as much dispute about him and his life as like there actually was, because apparently, like, I didn't even know it was questioned that he was actually like a samurai. Like,
Yeah.
does that scholar Tom, what was his name, Thomas Leakey?
Yeah, he wrote the book. He wrote the book African Samurai.
Okay. Does he agree that he was a samurai? Like, he probably, because you know the title, but like, yeah. I mean, tell me more about that. Like, why do people question whether he was like a samurai or not? You know what I mean?
I'm I'm not sure. Maybe because he came from by foreign, but a foreign way. He wasn't like what I'm saying. He didn't went through the rigors and all that and the actual training.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, but according to Thomas Leakley's book, he was official samurai. Like Nobunaga made him a samurai, his personal bodyguard. You know what I'm
Ah,
saying?
okay.
Had a katana and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, because I seen like it was Metatron was the person who I was seeing making the videos on it, and
Yeah.
like his whole position, Metatron's position was that like we don't know, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like that scholarly stuff where it's
Yeah.
like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like that
So, like,
scholarly stuff where like, you just gotta act like you have to be conservative sometimes, you know, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? So it was
'Cause
just kind of like yeah.
it's like limited information on it. Like
Mm.
so.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's
Yep.
dope.
Yeah.
That is dope, bro. But hmm. I think I think to be honest, I feel like we covered like a lot of the like big topics of West African. Is there any like topics that like you want to touch on more that we didn't cover?
I mean, not really. I had to probably sit down and think of some stuff, but I was gonna say, yeah, because I'm gonna get in here and get to dinner anyway.
Okay, okay. Do you think you have time for the questions or no?
If you got time tomorrow, I could do it tomorrow. I'm free. I got some time tomorrow too.
Yeah, yeah. That works for you.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%, bro. But all right, man. So that's a history of West Africa. With Gullah Gabri. Any last words? YouTube channels, social medias you want to shout out? Message to the viewers.
Shout out. First of all, shout out to follow and subscribe to my channel, the Al Jaheed's podcast, or the book. I'm sorry, the book of Al Jaheed's podcast. And also, sometimes you see me on Pseudo Killers. You know what I'm saying? It was another think tank of a lot of scholarly enthusiasts, like like me and BR. And you know what I'm saying? That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Catch me on YouTube, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. Keep the knowledge rolling. You know what I'm saying? I'm always learning every day myself.
Yeah, 100%, bro. It's a journey because like you never stop learning, bro. There's always new stuff. There's always like fascinating stuff to like you know what I mean, find out. But yeah, it was really nice talking with you, man. Because you feel like
Hey,
you're like an authority. You know what I mean? Like in my whole circle, bro. You're the authority when you want to know West African history or even just stuff. It's not even just exclusively West African, but like especially West African. You come to Gullah, man. You know?
yeah, because even right now, I'm just freestyling right now. But when I got that, you know what I'm saying, I could show and prove, so my channel, I kind of show and prove and go
Mm-hmm.
to the sources, saying we break it down and, so we read through it and also discuss it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. No, because what I noticed is that your channel, it's like for more. I feel like it's for more like advanced people. You know what I mean? Because you got
Yeah.
these like long videos, and they're like you're getting into like the deep. You know what I mean? History, and you're showing all these like readings and you know what I mean, documents and whatever. So it's like yeah, you know what I mean. Like if you're really serious about this stuff, you know what I mean. Like your videos are really good for it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the exposure, man. Appreciate building with you
Yeah, always, bro. Always.
anytime.
Anytime, bro.
So we continue with some questions tomorrow too, if you got time.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, 100%. We can just do the video questions and then like record it as like its own video and then like just release it out there, man.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace out,
Peace.
man.